Welcome back, everybody, to the Arkansas State Red Wolves Dynasty on College Football 26. With a 4-2 record, we begin the second half of the season today. Coming off the most exciting win of this young series, there may not be a better game than what we had against Texas State, with the effort of Corey Rucker, who is putting in a legendary season on this channel. We've been through so many series, so many seasons. This was an all-timer for a wide receiver performance. And without his skills, there is no way we win this game. Multiple times with our backs against the wall. Corey Rucker came through. The team really clutched up like we've never seen before. And now we look ahead to the rest of this year with a 4-2 start that I feel really good about. The pass game, of course, has been exciting, and the defense has been better than expected. And when you have one of the best receivers in the country, even a one-star team like Arkansas State has a lot of potential. We're going to start to see some more players rotate in more on defense. I'd like to see Aaron Alexander play more and give us more of a coverage presence at linebacker. We've been giving up a lot of yardage in the middle of the field this year. Overall, our yards per game given up is not in the worst spot, but the run defense has actually been weaker, and we have to be careful about taking off better run defenders so that we can get more pass coverage specialists out there. And South Alabama is one of the better teams that we're going to face here in the Sun Belt. They too are 4-2 on the year, and their top player is a running back in Kentrell Bullock. Going into this matchup with where our run defense has been, this is where it all starts for me. Can you contain the running game and allow us to continue playing our game that's led to us becoming a 4-2 team that has certainly been on the rise? Championship contenders now in the C's. How far can this team go with the combination of Jalen Rayner at quarterback and Corey Rucker at wide receiver? On to Game 7, everybody. Let's jump into the opening drive for Arkansas State. On third down, where else would you go? Caught by Corey Rucker, getting his day underway with a big first down. And here is a nice run from Jaquez Cross. He gets a first down. We'll give this one to Kenyon Clay, and he'll jet up the middle into South Alabama territory. Ball at the 40, but quick pressure gets to Rayner, and the pass is incomplete. Pass pro remains one of the greatest weaknesses, and the pass does not get to the target, Corey Rucker. Drive stalls. And here is South Alabama with quarterback Bishop Davenport coming in with 12 touchdowns and 9 picks. And that is a 3rd and 3 completion going over the middle, an area I want to be far more competitive. But this offense runs through the running back, and there is Quincy Wright stuffing the run. Kentrell Bullock, the star of this team, ends up in the grasp of Wright on back-to-back plays, sending them backwards 4 yards. And then the Jaguars on 3rd and 14, not built to throw it downfield. Chris body breaks through. Great job by the 2 defensive tackles. Following drive for Arkansas State, and here is Kenyon Clay getting through, spinning out, and making his way to the 48-yard line. 14-yard run. Couple plays later on 3rd down, letting it develop and trying to get Rucker, but this was contested. Had a chance, tried to make a one-handed grab. That drive stalls. Next possession for the Red Wolves, and Rayner misses Hunter Summers. Tough off-balance throw. But no points on the first few drives for the Red Wolves. After that great game last week, things began much more slowly, really for both teams. Here is a run for South Alabama. That's Kentrell Bullock getting the first down. Then on 2nd and 7, there's some space inside, and he'll go right up the middle. They're starting to get things on track, but here's trouble, and down goes Davenport. He gets taken down by Brian Whitehead, and the drive ultimately stalls. We're still scoreless midway through the second. Arkansas State, if they're to get on track, it has to be through the air. This was called an incompletion on field. Come on now. Corey Rucker got both feet down. 3rd down, we're going back to Rucker. That's a conversion. 3rd catch of the day. Throwing a screen now. J.J. Harrell getting involved. Been liking what I've seen of him. He gets 9. And later, third down. We do get the conversion, but as a flag is thrown, that's the right tackle, Noah Smith, called on the hold. So backed up for 3rd and 13. Rayner lets it fly, and the pass is well defended. The coverage so good. Nana Burris unable to make the catch. We still have no score. Jaguars ball trying to go over the middle. There is A.G. McGee. That's how you play safety in the middle of the field. On second down, pressure. This is just an ugly start offensively. No score, 3rd and 10. Just chuck it downfield. Single coverage, and the biggest play of the first half is made. Devin Voisin makes the catch, keeping a hold of the ball through the hit of Trenton Allen-Yao. First down, Jaguars. Now a wide open look. Voisin makes the grab again. Can they cap this off? They have the star running back, but wrapped up by Marcus Bradley. That's a big loss. 3rd and goal from the 7. We just defend the goal line. Davenport trying to run, gets taken down by Javonte Mackey at the 3. Field goal team comes out, and finally the first points of the day are scored. How about our Red Wolves? Can they finally get something going? With 1:40 on the clock. Pass for Rucker. Incomplete. Not looking good for Arkansas State's offense. 3rd and 14. Heavy pressure. Rayner out to his left. He's going to sling it. There is Rucker coming back to help out the quarterback. That is a deep playmaker adjustment, and you just got to give your guys a chance sometimes. Down to midfield now, and here's a big run. Kenyon Clay, breakaway. 33 on the run, down to the South Alabama 17. But another tough 3rd down a couple plays later. That's wide open. Hunter Summers, touchdown. You're just wondering, how does a guy get that wide open? Well, Corey Rucker draws triple coverage, and they forget about number 3. Even when he doesn't get the ball, Corey Rucker makes an impact. And you got to give credit to Summers, too. He scored after all. So, all right, we got some excitement now into the second half. Still a very slow start for their running game. I was really impressed with our ability to contain safeties, linebackers, the edges all playing so well, forcing them to throw it. 3rd down and a conversion despite the hit we put on the quarterback. Right in front of Aaron Alexander that time. With the drive extended, here's a good run up the middle. They create a lane for Kentrell Bullock. Now facing 3rd down from midfield. This is Davenport. He's going to send this one way downfield. Too strong through the back of the end zone. And Arkansas State takes over inside their own 20. Rayner pressured and delivers a nice ball. Summers can't come up with it. And we give South Alabama a short field. But they face 3rd and 9. Here's plenty of time, and Davenport to scramble right in to Aaron Alexander, who does get a little shaken up on the play. But they're going to leave the offense on. 4th and 2 with a 4-man rush. They go short and get it. First down. Playing man-to-man there. They go after our slot corner, James Reed. And the drive continues, but Brian Whitehead with another TFL. Constantly thrown into these pass-heavy 3rd down spots. They need a dozen, and they're not able to get it. But they went for it once. They're willing to go for it again now from our 24. And again, only sending 4. Pass goes out, and it's incomplete. Thanks to the hit from safety Trayvon Howard. Points continue to be hard to come by. 7-3 Red Wolves. Kenyon Clay making a move as he gains 7. Our run game outpacing theirs, actually. And here's a nice play action on a 3rd and 2, getting it to Javion Fricks. He's been a solid tight end, too, this year. Jaquez Cross back in the game. He has a nice gain of 6 on first down. Then to the air on 3rd and 2, and passing up a throw to Rooker to go further downfield. Nana Burris with a good catch and run. He's inside the South Alabama 30. Notice we have a third running back in the game here. This is Devin Spencer getting the carry as he gets 5. Then facing 2nd down, lobbed up top, Summers. No. I don't think he's fared that well in these contested situations this year. Sets up 3rd down. Pressure getting there again. Really good coverage on Rooker that time. And we have to send out the field goal team. Clune Van Andel right down the middle for a 7-point advantage. On to the 4th quarter with just 13 combined points. The run game ain't doing much, so throw it to the running back instead. Good call here for South Alabama. Then faking to Bullock and keeping it with Davenport. That's a gain of 7. Good change-ups here from the offense. And a 3rd down conversion, Boysen on the slant. Now at their own 42, Davenport with a nice throw to the outside as they're able to keep things more reasonable now on 3rd down, but still look to throw. Davenport deep, hooks up inside the 15. Another big one-on-one deep ball, their 2nd converted of the game. This one's caught by Anthony Eager. Inside the 10, misdirection not fooling the Red Wolves who get their 3rd sack of the game. Backed up for 3rd and 14, just keep the ball in front of you. That's what we do. Inside the 5, do you go for it? Do you kick? Down 7, that is a go for it. Gotta get into the end zone. Davenport floats and finds the tight end. And they get their first touchdown. Trent Thomas. Both scoring drives sparked by big deep balls that we could not break up. And we're all tied up now with 6.5 to go. And Rayner dumps this one. Nana Burris continues one of his best games of the year. On 3rd and 2, there's an RPO dialed up for Corey Rooker. Thought that was a nice play call on 3rd and short. Now a 1st down and some burst inside. That is Kenyon Clay, gain of 4. As we go inside 5 minutes, tough adjustment, caught by Burris, but another hold called against Arkansas State. Now we have to do it from 2nd down and 16. Sprinting out now. Rayner has to dump it to the open man, Summers. And now we have 3rd and 9. Have to get to the 36 for a conversion. And the pressure is too much. Great coverage by the Jaguar defense. And they get the ball back. Punting this one away with 4 and change left. And even getting a chance to return it here. Not a great overall operation. South Alabama football, they have control here. 3:30 left to go. Dumped. Nice coverage by Javonte Mackey, so they can't get the conversion. Sets up a big 3rd down. We bring pressure. They go with a leaping catch and do not get it. Huge break. I think that could have been a bad spot. But Arkansas State football now. 2 minutes left. A 3rd down of our own. Dump short. J.J. Harrell shakes out the defender and gets the 1st down. Fresh set for the Red Wolves. And pressure. The ball intercepted. Let the play develop and tried to uncork a deep ball. They do a good job on the underneath routes, and pressure didn't show up until pretty late. But the last-ditch effort to try to go deep backfires badly. With an extra split second, maybe we get something here deep with Nana Burris. That was the hope. And instead, it's the 2nd interception thrown all year by Jalen Rayner. And now South Alabama in the driver's seat, 1st down. Under a minute 30 left to go in field goal range. If they can get some 1st downs, they control the clock. But Bullock, no gain, and has to leave the field. So they're throwing on 2nd down. Wide open, and broke a tackle. Touchdown, South Alabama. Devin Boysen with the go-ahead touchdown. Trenton Allen Yao just loses him. Look at that separation. And then misses the tackle. We only have 49 seconds now to fix it from our own 27. Wide open at the sticks. There is Burris again. With 2 timeouts, we can stop the clock. Holding on to him. Burris makes the catch again. His best game all season. Now at midfield with 33 to play. And throwing short. That's caught. We'll use the timeout. Now 29 remain. We're out of timeouts entirely. Here's a throw for Burris again. Stops the clock with 25 to play. But still 39 yards to go. Pressure on Rayner. Coming across. Summers. He's out of bounds inside the 30. But there's so little time left. Inside 20 seconds. Under pressure. Pass. Caught. It's Burris. Touchdown, Arkansas State. He draws the one-on-one coverage, and that's all you can hope for in this situation. Try to make a play. We've been waiting to see someone step up opposite Corey Rucker. What a day for Nana Burris. And with 15 seconds left, do you play for the 3rd consecutive overtime game, or do you go for the win? Arkansas State, foot on the gas. We're going for the lead here. Pass incomplete for Corey Rucker. The first player I really look at here is Javion Fricks, but the safety blitzing by him got me to come off of it when he would have been the best option on this play. And now it comes down to an onside kick. Clune Van Andel to get us one more chance. And it's recovered by South Alabama, who wins the game. 17-16 is the final. Another thrilling finish. I do think going for 2 there at the end is the right call, because they'd have such little time to answer. And they end up making just a couple more plays than us. And impressively, they had to overcome the strength of their team not really working. All their success came because of big plays through the air. They did not run the ball well whatsoever. Bishop Davenport, 303 yards, while Kentrell Bullock had 18 carries for 42. When you hold a running team to that mark, you should win the game. But the offense for us just was not very good. They did a good job of applying pressure and keeping us from force-feeding Corey Rucker all day long. Nana Burris ends up being the leading receiver thanks to his heroic effort on our last full possession. Their defense really came to play. They surprised me a bit. And we fall now to 4-3 on the season. 1-2 in conference. Switching over to recruiting, tackle Lee Swain has indeed picked the Memphis Tigers. I gave up on that battle last episode. I knew that wasn't going to be a win for us. Now, you might not know this, but Memphis is actually the greatest rival for Arkansas State. This game is called the Paint Bucket Bowl. They've played 62 times. They're not on our schedule this year, but we are set to play them. Apparently, their next scheduled matchup is in 2026 on my birthday. So I'm looking forward to actually getting some more rivalry action in next year's schedule. A couple of these other battles are getting intense, so I'm having to get a little more aggressive for Donald Lane. And he is going to be visiting in our next game against Georgia Southern. There are a couple players who have drawn late offers and interest. Now, Rayshawn Driver is a player I really want to get to start developing, even more so seeing the interest that Washington is now showing. Cornerback is one of the main areas of concern with this team, so I want to add some good talent. We're probably getting Devon Jolly here soon, so I'm going to drop the points on his battle so we can go heavier on the Rayshawn Driver recruiting battle. So we're going to check up on that at the end of the episode, but we have another game to go through, and we're going to spend our coaching points ahead of it. So with Reggie Carter being a defensive-oriented coach, we are focused first on the defensive sides of the motivator tree, getting the Tier 3 now on D-line and secondary. Our next game is against the 2-5 Georgia Southern Eagles. On paper, they look pretty good, but they're only 2-5. When you look at their roster, you see there are some standout skill players at running back, receiver, tight end. And then their secondary, we have not faced one quite like this outside of maybe the Arkansas, Iowa State games. But as far as the Sun Belt Conference, this might be the best group of cornerbacks, which poses a challenge when you look at the way we try to move the football through the air. So let's jump in. J.C. French coming off a huge game for Georgia Southern in their previous matchup. He's going to open, finding their top receiver. This is 85 overall Josh Dallas, one of the highest rated receivers in the Sun Belt. Now a run with it opening up, and they're able to break inside our 40-yard line. Picking up where they left off the week before. Here is Dallas breaking open. Second catch of the drive. Then they go O.J. Arnold, number 22, bounces the run, takes it out at the 2, and it's J.C. French who caps it off. An impressive opening drive. He came into this game with 20 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions. That's his first rushing score. So some early pressure put on us after a weak offensive performance against South Alabama. Trying to start much stronger, rolling on third down, extending the play, and getting it to the tight end, Tyler Fortenberry, who I think has put in a really good year for us. Later on the drive, third down, wide open, there is Corey Rucker. Coming off just his second game of under 100 yards all year. You'll see us here trying to run the ball, and early this proved to be a real challenge. Faking the run here, second down, back to Rucker, and he holds on to it. We're making moves down inside the 30, trying to run some power to the right. That ends up with a loss of 3. And just not a lot of flow here, relying a lot on just big third down plays, hoping for another one, but not this time as Summers is stopped short. And Clune Van Andel comes out to get us some opening drive points, 7-3. Georgia Southern second possession. We get them into third down. J.C. French pressured, and that is Marcus Bradley, who has been good for a splash play here or there. Much better sequence. We force the 3 and out, and back to return a punt. This is J.J. Harrell. Nice move, able to make the most out of this, and I just think in his limited chances, he's been really good with the ball in his hands. But where we were not good to start this game is trying to get our running backs anything early. On our first 6 carries of the game, we had negative 12 rushing yards. Hard to have anything established under those circumstances. Back to the Eagles, and there is Dallas again on the slant. Get the second down, and he breaks open downfield against the 3-high secondary. Trenton Allen Yao had some tough moments in the previous game. He has his hands full here with Josh Dallas. 23 yards out now. French dumps it. Nobody home. O.J. Arnold touchdown. That is just a blown coverage. We saw Corey Rucker in the previous game command triple coverage. They forgot about Hunter Summers. Now we don't even leave anybody on the same side of the field as their running back. It's 14-3 early on. Trying to, again, work ourselves into the game. Incomplete for Rucker. Then trying to get positive yards for a change. Clay gets a couple. And on third down, time to throw, lets it develop, and there's Rucker on the reception. That was a really good job by the offensive line that time. New set of downs. Here's Clay now, and there's a nice tough run. He's in the positives now. Third down and 1. Predictably tough from the Eagle front. But we're not about to punt this here on 4th and 1. Looks clogged up the middle, but a quick cut to the right gets us the first with Cross. I really didn't think that just throwing over and over again was our route back into this game. Committed to the run. There's 7 from Cross now. He actually checks out, and we'll get Devin Spencer involved. And here on the screen, he'll get us a first down, showing some shiftiness. I have my wear and tear sliders set up, so there are a lot of running back subs when you need them. And Spencer shoved ahead. He gets 6. That buys some time for Clay to return, but we'll go to Rucker first. They're at the 10. And a couple plays later on 1st and goal, we're going to swing this out. Jaquez cross. Can't quite get to the end zone. But a good drive being put together with our running backs who started slowly. And it's Kenyon Clay who caps things off on the touchdown run. That's his 5th rushing score on the year. Getting back into this one now, still in the first half. This is O.J. Arnold losing the football on the hit from Trayvon Howard. They keep possession, though. 3rd down and 7, trying to get off the field, and they break open. They're beating number 1 cornerback Avante Dickerson. This drive continues. We try to get aggressive, and that is not the answer. They're behind Reed, speeding along to the 15-yard line. J.C. French opens the day 9 for 9. It's not until he tries to go up top for Dallas that there's an incompletion thrown. And again, they're met with 3rd down. Here's French finding space and floating for Dallas. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Nice pocket movement and a good ball for his top receiver, as we really had no answers early for Dallas in the passing game. 21-10, entering a 2-minute drill. But on 3rd and 4, low throw for J.J. Harrell. We have a quick 3-and-out at a really bad time. That gives another drive to the Eagle offense. We're going single high here, trying to stuff the run. Nice play, Javonte Mackey. Then on 2nd down, dumped outside. Again, losing track of the running back. O.J. Arnold out to midfield. French already over 220 yards through the air. He finds Dallas again on the leaping catch. And with a minute to go, it's Arnold. He gets a lane, breaking away to the 10-5 touchdown. 45-yard score given up by this Red Wolves defense. Really outstanding downfield blocking. At that point in the drive, kind of ready for them to shift more towards the pass, and that's why the run was the right call. It's 28-10. Feeling pretty desperate here to get something more before halftime. Tyler Fortenberry on the catch and run. He's near midfield. All 3 timeouts left for Arkansas State. And Rayner again. Where's number 7? He makes the grab. Rucker down to the 25. Will burn a timeout there. A couple plays later with just 23 seconds to go, trying to dial up a big one for Rucker, and he gets caught up on his outcut. And that forces us then to 4th down, where I don't think going for it has much upside, because you'd still probably be unlikely to score a touchdown. So we go into half down 28-13, knowing if our defense doesn't step up, there's little way to get back in this game. We wrap up Josh Dallas here. This is start of the 3rd quarter. And at the sticks, they just sit down. French finds the tight end. New set of downs for the Eagles, and there's some pressure. Quincy Wright. Really happy that he's a junior and should be here again next season. Following a loss of 7. There we go, Aaron Alexander. That's why he's out there playing more snaps. We got them on 3rd and 17, right where we want them, or so I thought. They can still protect the quarterback long enough for this play to develop as they get a wide open receiver here in the middle of the field. 4 touchdowns already for the Eagles, searching for more. It's O.J. Arnold. He gains 8. And now getting through the line inside the 25. It's a 100-yard day. 2 plays later, 3rd and 9, and taking off now, French with the spin. Down to the 7. Can you force a field goal try here at least? Not so fast. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. We're just getting picked apart against this mismatch of the Georgia Southern passing game. It's about this time you start to miss when this team ran triple option instead. Jalen Rayner gets hit, and we end up with a 3-and-out on this following drive, so the defense is right back out. 35-13, French steps up, and Brian Whitehead forces him to get rid of it. At this point, you know you really can't allow any more points. You need stops, and we just can't get any. The pressure is showing up late. We're not fast enough to keep up. It's a touchdown all the way. 42 points now for Georgia Southern. That's Camden Brown with a 57-yard catch and run. Trenton Allen Yao cannot catch up and make the tackle. 42-13, a blowout here at home. And it's our last-ditch effort here, trying to get Burris downfield. We know we've got to go and score a lot of touchdowns here late. Keeping the run game a part of the plan because the pass protection has also been questionable. And we are able to start getting some more consistent rushes here at this point, including this first down for Kenyon Clay. Taking things down here inside the 30, mixing it up with play action, and the pass from Rayner is intercepted. Remember how good this secondary was? They show up here with Chance Gamble. On the comeback for Nana Burris, he just works outside, gets in front of him. And at that point, I'm happy playing the backups. We're down 29. This one is just not looking good, and Georgia Southern also puts in their second string offense. So to start the fourth quarter, backups galore, and there is a fumble recovered by Arkansas State. It was forced by number 13, Pat Fargus. So Ryan Rivers and the second team offense is taking the field here, and Rivers throwing to the outside, and this pass is intercepted. Shouldn't have been thrown there. And Georgia Southern just gets it right back. But they go with a run and crashing downhill. That is Fargus once again put onto the field, already making a couple plays. 2 plays later on third down, pressure, and a stop. Nice to see. Gets us the football back as they punt things to J.J. Harrell. And he starts upfield and then cuts this out. Harrell inside the 40 as he turns the corner and takes off to the end zone. J.J. Harrell with our first special teams touchdown of the Arkansas State Dynasty. This makes it 42-20. Eagle offense back in there. Fargus again on the wrap-up. When you all of a sudden step in and just keep making every play in front of you, you start to catch my attention. Third down and 12. Here's pressure, and we get to the quarterback. We can actually play against their backup unit here. Their starters are just really good. At this point, I'm thinking, get the starters back out there. We got momentum on our side. We're only down 22 now. So Jalen Rayner back in the game, and the protection does not do him any favors. Third down and 13. Look how sticky this coverage is. Incomplete. They can even cover Corey Rucker. They have a good secondary. So on 4th and 13, you have to let it fly. If you get the time, of course. And we don't. Another sack for Georgia Southern. Turnover on downs. With 5.5 to go, here's a run, and they're able to actually have some success with their second unit all the way inside the 15. Down to about 5 minutes to go, and Fargus makes another tackle. Number 13 catching my attention. On 3rd and 7, Fargus can't make the tackle that time, but we do force 4th down. And Georgia Southern adds 3, 45-20. And with just a few minutes left to go, we do have the second string offense retake the field to finish things out. Ryan Rivers back in the game and handing this to Devin Spencer, number 24. Gets through that first tackle. And on 3rd and 1, he carries again. Spencer, first down. We'll have Rivers throw it again, and here's J.J. Harrell, a nice juke. He's only a redshirt freshman, by the way. Spencer again on the carry, makes a move, spins away. How about this run from Devin Spencer? This is our 3rd string running back. How come every play he's making someone miss or creating a couple extra yards? He has been highly efficient on a low volume of carries this year, but he's really stood out at every opportunity. I'm thinking Devin Spencer needs to find his way onto the field a little more often. Unfortunately, intercepted in the end zone. The coverage continues to be dominant for Georgia Southern. How are they 2-5? They blow us out at home, 45-20, and we lose back-to-back games, going from 4-2 with a lot of momentum to 4-4. J.C. French has his third game of the year where he has 4 touchdowns or more with 300-plus yards, and it's their third win of the year. In their losses, they've given up 56, 49, 37, and 28 points. They did lose to USC, but they looked really good here against us, and they've had a couple really big games now in a row to get them from 1-5 to 3-5. Jalen Rayner, 16 for 27, $182. This secondary was the real deal, and it puts even more stress on this offensive line when the ball can't come out as quickly. Corey Rucker, under 100 yards now, the second straight week. I think this was one of those matchups where it's a team that, has a worse record, but they have all the right matchup advantages to give us a bad time. When they can lock up our receivers, they have a couple of receivers we have no answers for. All of our weaknesses were exposed here in this matchup. It's part of why I really didn't know what year one would bring. I knew we'd have a chance to do big things with Corey Rucker, but the offensive line and secondary were huge question marks. Going to recruiting now, Donald Lane visited for that game, and it was not a great all-around visit to get blown out like that. That could cost us the battle as he visits UNLV now in Week 10. Look at the progress Washington has made there for Rashawn Driver. I'm looking at some of our battles where it just looks like no one's going to enter late. I'm taking points off of those, so now we can send the house for Donald Lane, which still, we'll have to see what happens to UNLV in Week 10. But I'd like to get his coverage ability on this team. That would be an excellent starting point with 82 zone coverage. But now Washington's push for Rashawn Driver, I don't know if this is going to end up going our way. I'm going to go and put 50 points in. I like the player a lot, and I've really wanted to upgrade this secondary, and this last game really shows you why. Now, with Devon Jolly, we're likely getting someone guaranteed, and he's a gem. That's a good start. I also think I have to pay a little more attention to some of these other players, namely Nick Raines. I've only scouted him partially to know 88 speed, and he's a lot better in zone coverage. But 88 speed should be okay athleticism, potential to get better, and we need to bring in cornerbacks because we're already not great there. And our top 2 players are seniors, which means next year could be even more challenging, but also freshmen would have a chance to get on the field in this current state. We're going to have to be active there in the portal too. I mean, compare those corners and the fact that we barely get above 70 man or zone coverage at our best, and Josh Dallas route running was just uncoverable by our defense. Over 100 yards for him, his best game all year. So now at 4-4, coming off a couple tough performances, we'll see what the rest of the year brings. I'm looking at that championship contender deal breaker for Jalen Rayner, and I'm worried about that looking ahead to season 2. I also look at Devin Spencer here as a player who has the same championship contender deal breaker. I've liked what I've seen from him. I'd hate to see him go while we also lose Kenyon Clay. Year 2, man, I don't know what that's going to bring. It could be really tough, even tougher than this year in some areas. Corey Rucker now just under 900 yards receiving on the season. We have Chris Body and Marcus Bradley lead the team with 4.5 sacks, and we still only have 1 interception. I think we should continue to shuffle in players, and when a player like Fargas stands out, granted against a second-team defense, there were enough splash plays there to get him on the field maybe a bit more in our next game. At least we got, some good looks at some backups there late against Georgia Southern, but we got to get things on track again against Troy. We are last place right now in the West. The way we felt about this team at the start of the episode versus the end are very different places. where now we really have to earn our way to bowl eligibility, needing 2 wins in our last 4 games. So we'll see if we can put these losses behind us and how challenging our upcoming games are. But what do you guys think now about Arkansas State the rest of the way here in Season 1? 4 games left to go, and then we're on to our first off season. Thank you all for watching today's episode. A tough one for our team, but we knew that. It's a 1-star team here. We have some things we do well, some things we're not great at, and unfortunately the weaknesses overshadowed everything today. We did not have the 200-yard Corey Rucker game to save us. But y'all have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode.